Today I am sharing 10 high-end beauty products which I think are actually worth the money. I do love drugstore products, I also love high-end. I'd say I buy a good mixture of both. I don't really sway towards one or the other. So today I'm sharing 10 beauty products, makeup products, which are worth the money, which are a bit more high-end, and I'm going to do my whole face using them today. So we're going to start with eyes. The first item, which is more high-end, which I would 100% buy again, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This has been an all-time favourite palette of mine for so long now, and I can't speak for any of their other eyeshadow palettes because I've only ever tried this one from the brand, but it's just my absolute favourite. I think the colours more than anything. I love a palette which I would use all of the colours of. I think that's worth more than anything really, because there's no point in buying a palette and you're only going to use a few of the shades. It's just a waste, whereas I've used every single colour in here and I just absolutely love it. I haven't really decided what look I'm going for, so I'm going to start with Raw Sienna. I think this is probably my favourite colour in the palette. This will be my transition shade. I just love the quality of the shadows and they blend so easily as well. This palette will be the one I will take if I'm going on holiday or I'm going away or something, because everything that I need and all the colours that I tend to wear are in this palette. So I can go more matte, I can go a little bit shimmery, I can do more taupey colours, more warm colours, or more pinks, and they are kind of the group that I tend to stick with the most. So I think any palette which you're definitely going to get use of all the colours from is worth the money anyway. But this one in particular, I just absolutely love it. I think we might do like a brown soft glam moment. I might do something a little bit shimmery. I feel like my past few looks have been a little bit more matte. Maybe something soft glam but a bit winged out as well. Okay, let's use Cypress Umber next. I'm going to do a bit of like a smoky liner with this. So I'm going to take an angled brush and do a little wing and then just pull it in. And then just on a little smudger brush, I'm just going to smudge this into the lash line. Always found this shadow palette to be super blendable. You do get a bit of kickback, like fallout from the actual pan, but I've never minded that as long as like they blend well. I also feel as well with this palette, like all the colours you could wear together. There's not really a combination that's mismatched. Even like the brighter colours, like the orange and the more pinky shade, they look beautiful together still. They're not too like intimidating to try either, which is nice. If I was ever going to recommend a palette which you could use as your everyday shadow palette or like take it to nighttime as well, this one would just be the one that I would recommend every time. Okay, I'm just taking a tiny bit of concealer and I'm just patting it on this inner corner, and then I think I'm going to do like a more shimmery shade here. I haven't done a shimmery makeup look for a while. Okay, then I'm going to take Primavera. I'm just going to apply this with my finger. I always find shimmery shades will apply better with your finger rather than a brush. And that's just how I prefer to apply them really. Unless I'm going to top it off with like a glitter or something over the top, I'll apply them with a brush, but I always think the payoff is much better using your finger. For mascara, I'm choosing the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. This is 100% worth the money. It's an amazing mascara. I don't tend to buy a lot of high-end mascaras because, to be honest, I find a lot of mascaras are the same, but this one is like my go-to when I want like super long voluminous lashes. I love that the brush is super fluffy. I love like more of a really bristly brush rather than a plastic wand. This is just amazing for me. If you've got like shorter lashes, mine are actually quite long, so this does work really well for me, but if you've got like a shorter lash, this will definitely make a difference to like the length and the volume. It's quite a thick consistency of a mascara, but it's one of those where you can keep brushing through your lashes and it doesn't get like thick and clumpy. It just really helps make them look like longer and fuller, which I absolutely love. I am also going to quickly apply just some corner lashes because I think I want this look like nice and glam, and they're not high end, so I can't really mention them in this video, so I'm just going to quickly apply them now. Okay, so let's leave the eyes there for now and let's do our base makeup. Now, one high-end foundation which is 100% worth the money is the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. This foundation is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to give it a good shake first. I love this foundation because I do feel like it's one that will literally work for anybody. Like, it's not too glowy and it's not too matte, so if you are more oily or you're really dry, you can make this work for you, and I absolutely love that. The consistency as well is like not too thick. You can make this a really nice full coverage, which is what I'm going to do today, or you could easily wear this as your everyday foundation and just wear it a bit more sheer. You can honestly wear this any way you want. So that is the foundation, absolutely beautiful, 100% worth money. My next product I'm going to talk about is the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm sure you've all heard of it, or you've even got this in your collection, but I just absolutely love this concealer. I've got this in my Pro Kit as well. It's what I use on my clients every time. The concealer is beautiful. Again, a little goes a long way, and I find, because obviously when I'm doing my clients I'm using a lot of makeup all the time, I find I hardly ever have to repurchase these because they last so long, which is amazing when you're using makeup all the time. Coverage is amazing, it blends out beautifully, and also it's one of those products which again works for everybody, which is why I have it in my kit. It's not too drying, it's not too matte, and it also doesn't tend to like slip and slide around during the day, but it's just an amazing concealer. I think it has to be one of the best concealers ever. So the cream bronzer which I've chosen today is probably one of the most expensive that I've ever bought. It's the Chanel Soleil Tam de Chanel. This is the most beautiful bronzer ever. I actually rediscovered this in my drawer not long ago. I have had this for a while, but I've still got loads left and I refuse to throw it away until I've used everything. But as you can see, I've definitely hit pan a long time ago. When I have used it all, I will 100% be purchasing it again. It blends so beautifully into like any cream or liquid foundation you've got on. It's also really good for the summertime if you have like a natural tan and you don't want to wear much makeup but you just want like a little bit of glow. This is perfect for that. I always take this on holiday as well because once I've tanned, I don't really wear much foundation. This is what I'll wear instead. It looks absolutely amazing on the skin. Whether you're wearing anything underneath it or not, it looks beautiful. And again, you can just keep building it up until you have what you want. Moving on to setting powder, if anyone would ask me to recommend a setting powder and they wanted to have a more high-end powder, I would 100% every single time say get the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It's absolutely beautiful and it works for everybody. I always use the translucent setting powder and it's just absolutely amazing. Your makeup does not smudge, does not move all day, and it makes your face look absolutely flawless. So because I am more dry, I only really set the centre of my face and it never creases, it never looks dry on my skin. It just melts into my base products every time and just sets so flawlessly. It looks amazing in pictures as well. This is the powder that I used to set on my clients every single time. It just always looks amazing and they always say that it never moves, and I'm 100% sure that that is mostly because of how I set the makeup, and this product I could never do without. If you're not gone as full coverage as me, you don't need as much. A little goes a really long way. You can also use this for baking as well if you are more oily. For bronzer, my high-end bronzer of choice is the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer, and I don't actually see many people talking about this bronzer very often. I really like it because again it's quite natural. It's hard to kind of apply too much because the finish is really nice. It's not too powdery. You can build it up really nicely, which I absolutely love. And I think it's quite an underrated product. I don't see many people talk about it. Urban Decay in general is one of my favourite brands. I absolutely love Urban Decay. Their products are amazing, and this bronzer is one of my all-time favourites. Moving on to blush. Blush, I know I've mentioned this loads of times, but I don't have a lot of blushes. I'm only just kind of getting into liking blush again, and one that I have been using quite a lot is this one from KVD Beauty. I do have another one which I use quite often, but this one I absolutely love, and I also think that you can get refills for these as well once you've run out, because there's a little thing on the back where you can poke out of the pan, which I really like because that means less waste. These blushes are really pigmented and they look so beautiful on the skin. This one is in the shade Poppy, and I do want to pick up a few more shades as well of these because they are really beautiful. Again, a little goes a really long way, especially if you're only just getting into blush like me. I have to try and not press into the pan too hard. KVD Beauty is a brand that I, last year I think, started wearing a little bit more, and I absolutely love all their products as well. I would say all their products are worth the money, even though they are a bit more high brand. I can't say that I've used anything that I don't like from KVD, which is amazing. These are the Everlasting blushes, they're called, so yeah, go check them out as well. So before we move on to lips, I'm going to finish the eyes because I think we've gone quite glam, so we need a smoky under eye. I'm going to just use the exact same two colours that we used before. So starting with Raw Sienna, I'm just going to blend this under my lash line. I'm just taking the angled brush with a tiny bit of that darkest shadow, which was Cypress Umber. I'm just going to put this on the outer corners. Okay, so for lip pencils, I chose the MAC ones because they are my favourite high-end ones that I've tried so far. There are a couple of dupes to these. I'd say NYX and Morphe pencils are probably the closest in comparison, but I just love that they're not too creamy. I like that the pencil, like colour itself, is like quite a hard pencil, so you can get really precise with your lines. Sometimes I find if lip pencils are too creamy, you just can't be precise with them at all. So I've got two. I've got Soar and I've got Spice, but I'm thinking Spice, so let's line with Spice. I like to overline my lips as well, and I find that so much easier to do with like a harder pencil. And I think I'm actually going to go over with a bit of Soar as well, just because this will be a bit darker than the lip colour that I've chosen. My high-end lipstick of choice, I've chosen MAC, and I think everyone's probably got a MAC lipstick in their collection, but I've used MAC for so many years now. I absolutely love their lipsticks. I think they're amazing quality. I also think they're super comfortable to wear, and I just love a normal lipstick now and maybe a gloss on the top. I've got so many colours of these in my kit as well. Again, I use MAC all the time with my clients for lipsticks, and I just absolutely love them. They're super comfortable no matter what finish you want, and I just think they're amazing quality. So I'm using Velvet Tay today. I'm going proper old school. Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with MAC lipstick. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, and those are my 10 high-end makeup products which I think are worth the money. I absolutely love how it turned out. Let me know what high-end products are your favourites down in the comments, because I'd love to check them out as well. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this as well, because it was hard to pick just 10. There's so many more high-end products which I like. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you did down in the comments. Please give it a big thumbs up as well, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week in my next one. Bye!